David, step it up.
What are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
Hey, do not reach. 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 Step it up.
Let me go.
Do not reach, bro. You're gonna get taken. Do not reach or you're gonna get shot. Do not reach. Do not reach.
It starts the way most traffic stops start. A car switches lanes without signaling. An officer pulls it over. Two people begin a conversation through a window that, at the start, sounds like 1,000 other traffic stop conversations recorded on body cam footage every single day. What's up, boss man? You switched lanes without signaling. I got my license right here. Routine. Unremarkable. The kind of stop that resolves in 5 minutes with a warning or a ticket and everyone goes home. This one does not resolve that way. The driver, Tony as he is called in the footage, is frustrated from the first exchange. He does not believe he did anything wrong. He says so more than once. The officer, patient, casual, calling him brother, explains the specific violation. The lane switch without a signal and then the turn signal given too close to the intersection, inside the required 100 feet. Tony is not satisfied with this explanation. He says he feels like the officer is acting like he switched lanes when he put his signal on. The officer does not argue. He says this is his job. Running traffic stops on violations. That is what this is. The stop continues.
What's up, boss man?
What's going on?
You got your license and insurance on you?
Yeah, I got all that.
All right, man. You switched lanes without signaling, and then when you came in here, hold on. And then when you came in here, you signaled. You got a signal outside of 100 feet.
I got a signal outside of 100 feet.
Yeah, brother. Yeah. Outside of 100 feet. Initially, when you switched lanes to the right lane, you didn't signal to switch lanes. And then when you came in here, you signaled, but not outside of 100 feet.
I'm saying, I just feel like, what you doing? I'm saying.
What do you mean? I'm doing my job, bro.
I'm saying, I don't have nothing to, I didn't do anything wrong. You acting like I switched lanes. I put my signal on.
Hey, brother, this is my job, man. All right? It's just
But
a
I'm
traffic
saying,
stop.
what's
Hey,
your job?
that's me. To pull traffic stops on violations. You got a license and insurance on you?
I need to take a piss, man. Y'all shouldn't have killed.
The officer notices something in the cup holder. He says he can smell alcohol. He asks what is in the cup. Tony says it is something small, something from his friend's place. His friend just came into town. The officer tells Tony he is not focused on a little bit of drinking in a cup right now. He is going to run Tony's information and they will talk. No big deal. Just step outside. That is the moment the stop changes from a window conversation to a physical interaction. Tony steps out of the car. The officer tells him no music while he runs the check. Tony asks to use the bathroom. The officer says not yet, traffic stop first. It is still at this point a routine stop. Slightly tense. Slightly annoyed. But routine. The officer begins a pat-down. He finds something. He asks what it is. Tony says it is his boots. The officer knows it is not his boots. What follows in the next 60 seconds is one of the most documented and most preventable moments in law enforcement body cam content. The sequence of commands that every officer is trained to give, given exactly as trained, while a man on the side of a road decides whether to reach for a weapon.
You getting to know me. I'm giving you my
What's in the
insurance.
cup? Let me ask you that. I smell booze. Is it just a little bit of booze?
Small stuff.
What is it?
Small stuff.
All right, no big deal. What is it? Wine?
No. Little stuff. I just came from my homie crib.
All right.
My homie just came in town.
All right, man.
I ain't
Listen
on
to
no
me, all right?
bullshit.
I'm not too worried about a little bit drinking that cup, all right, man? I'm not worried about that, all right?
What you worried about?
I'm not worried about that. While I run you, though, step outside here for me. David, one more car, no music.
Can I use the bathroom?
What's that?
I said, can I use the
When
bathroom?
you're done, bro, you
I
will.
gotta use the bathroom. So can I use the bathroom? I just gave you my stuff.
Yeah, I got you.
The bathroom.
You can't use the bathroom right now
Why I can't?
because you're on a traffic stop.
Why I'm on the traffic stop?
No,
though?
hey, no weapons on you?
No.
What's this?
Do not reach. The command comes once and then keeps coming, repeated, escalating, the officer's voice rising with each repetition not from panic but from urgency. He is building a record. He is giving every opportunity. He is using the only tool available to him in that specific moment, which is his voice, and he is using it with everything he has. Do not reach. Do not reach. Do not reach. And then the word gun enters the sentence. Do not reach for that gun. 3 words that reframe the entire stop. This is no longer about a lane change or a cup of something alcoholic or a bathroom request. There is a gun. The man standing outside the car has a gun. And the officer, alone at this moment, is standing between the weapon and whatever comes next. He does something in the middle of all of this that is worth pausing on. He tells the driver it is not worth it. Not as a threat. Not as a tactical maneuver. As a statement of fact directed at a person he has been calling brother for the last several minutes. A person he has been patient with, who he has not escalated against, who he has tried to keep calm through a stop that the driver was already frustrated by. It is not worth it, bro. You are going to get shot.
Dick.
Nah, man, it's not.
It is my dick.
It's not.
That's my dick, bro. What are you doing?
Hey,
What are you doing? Come on, man.
Listen
Don't
to
do
him.
that. Don't do that.
David, step it up.
What are you doing, bro? What are you doing?
Hey, do not reach. 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 Step it up.
Let me go.
Do not reach, bro. You're gonna get taken. Do not reach or you're gonna get shot. Do not reach. Do not reach. Bro. Do not reach. Bro, do not reach.
Let me go.
Do not reach. Bro, do not reach for that gun. Do not reach for that fucking gun. Do not reach for that fucking gun or you're gonna get shot. You hear me? You hear me? It's not worth it, bro.
Oh, what are you doing?
It's not worth it. Bro. It's not worth it. You're gonna get shot. Do not reach.
Do not reach. That sequence, the warning, the personal address, the consequence, the command, is the sound of an officer trying to prevent a shooting through the force of his own voice. He is not reaching for his weapon. He is not giving up on the possibility that this ends without violence. He is still talking. He calls for his partner, David. He announces the gun. The scene shifts from one officer and one driver to a contained emergency. What happens in the physical struggle that follows is not fully captured in the transcript. The body camera falls. The officer notes it, "My body camera fell," with the matter-of-fact quality of someone managing a long list of simultaneous concerns in a very short amount of time. And then he calls for medical aid. That call, "I need some medical aid, I need some medical aid," is the line that tells you the stop did not end cleanly. Someone is injured. The officer himself may be injured. The radio traffic that follows, a 10 to 33 officer emergency, a possible suspect in custody, confirms that what began as a lane change violation has become something that will require an investigation, a review, reports, and answers that the body cam footage alone cannot fully provide.
David, step it up. He's got a gun.
Oh, get up there.
David, step it up. You get shot. Go.
Step back, step back.
Cover this gun. Cover this gun. Buddy, my body camera fell. Buddy.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go secure this.
Come on, buddy. Hey, come on.
What do you need?
I need some medical aid.
Okay.
Go sit down now. Go sit down.
see if you help us off traffic control.
24.
Hey, take it easy, take it easy.
The outcome of this stop, what happened to Tony, what happened to the officer, what the investigation determined, what charges if any were filed, is not available from the footage provided for this video. What is available is everything that led to the moment the camera fell. A lane change. A cup of something. A pat down. A gun. A voice saying do not reach over and over until it couldn't anymore. Traffic stops are the most common law enforcement interaction in the United States. Tens of millions of them happen every year. The overwhelming majority of them are exactly what this one looked like in its first 2 minutes. Minor, routine, slightly annoying for everyone involved, resolved with a ticket or a warning and forgotten by the following morning. A small number of them are not. The difference between those two categories is not always visible from the outside. It is not always visible from inside the car. It is sometimes not visible until a hand moves toward a waistband and an officer who has been calling someone brother for 5 minutes has to decide, in a fraction of a second, what comes next. This officer did not decide in that fraction of a second. He kept talking. He kept giving commands. He kept saying it is not worth it right up until the moment the situation decided for him. There is a conversation that happens in this country regularly about traffic stops. About who gets pulled over. About whether the stop was justified. About what the driver did or didn't do and what the officer did or didn't do and who bears responsibility for how it ended. That conversation is important. It should keep happening. The questions it raises are real and they deserve real answers. But inside that conversation there is also this. An officer who found a gun during a pat-down and spent 60 seconds trying to prevent a shooting before calling for medical aid. Who called a stranger brother. Who said it is not worth it like he meant it. Whatever else the stop was, that is also what it was. The full picture deserves to hold both things at once.